to another video episode of my podcast. My name is Cheryl, and this is Cappuccino Crafts, my little channel on YouTube and my corner of the general interwebs where I like to talk about knitting and a little crochet and also books I'm reading or listening to, and movies or TV that I'm watching and enjoying, and also general life and chatty stuff that I want to share with you. I hope you are well, and thank you for choosing to watch this video and spending a little bit of your time with me. I really appreciate it. And let's get settled in. Please get yourself a delicious beverage of your choice and get out your yarn, your hook, your needles, or maybe your embroidery, or maybe some fiber and your spinning wheel, whatever you need. And let's enjoy a good crafty chat time together. So, in our family, we celebrate Easter. And so last week was Holy Week and Sunday was Easter Sunday. And this was a very, very different Easter. And anybody that's celebrating holidays this time of year, yeah, it's made the spring holiday celebrations very, very different. But I'm thankful that through technology, we are able to gather as communities, with live streaming or group video chats like on Zoom or other things and other ways to be able to have a form of our holiday get-togethers and holiday traditions. Our church for the last month has been doing all of our services on YouTube by live streaming, and that has been great. It works really well, and really glad to have that. And I hope if you were celebrating a spring holiday recently, that I hope you were able to find a way to do a little something to connect with friends, family, your community, and find a way to modify some of your traditions so that you could still have a little bit of your holiday. So, crafting has still been going on and reading has still been going on. So I have those to share with you, and I hope that your crafting is going well. I wonder, what kind of projects are you working on? Yeah, or reading or watching. I know, yeah, it's thrown some of us for a loop, and some of the things that were working for us before are not what we need now. And so have you adjusted any of your crafting or reading or watching because of what's been going on? I'm not sure if it's because of circumstances, but my little crochet little bookmark kick has continued. I think it might be finished, but I can't promise you 100%. There's another free bookmark pattern that I've had my eye on for a long time, and it is called the Fan Bookmark, and I made 2 this week. And aren't they lovely? I just think they're beautiful. It's a cascade of fans. And I think they look so delicate and so pretty. It feels very Victorian to me. The pineapple also feels very Victorian to me. Um, and I did another pineapple. Here is the pineapple that I finished it last night. And I got a little cocky because I'm like, I know this pattern now. And I had to redo. I miscounted, or actually I wasn't counting at all because I'm like, so I got this. But I missed a little bit, and I did not have the right number of rows and stitches to be able to fit the edging around correctly. So at least this is very small, and going back to redo it was not a big deal. And I'm super happy with it now. I know sometimes it's not really good when we get too cocky with our, like, I don't need to pay attention. I know. Yeah, sometimes that can lead us into problems. But thankfully, with yarn and crochet thread and all those things, you can always rip it out if you have to, or you can find a way to make it work or fix it without ripping out. But there are ways to remedy the situation if you have to. Sometimes if it's a real small mistake and it doesn't affect anything else, and it's not going to have a structural problem like cause a hole or make the fit weird, I will let some of those things go. But I wasn't in the mood to let that go last night, so I didn't. So that's been the crochet, and I am finished with the first piece of my tank top. So the front and the back are exactly the same. You just seam up the sides and seam up the shoulders when you're done. I have just enough yarn to make the second piece. I may not have enough of this color, but I think I'll have an actual back, and they might not match. I have extra of this, so I might just do like on the other piece from like here on up all this color, and then I'll just wear this side and the front, so I'll be able to know which is the front and the back. So yeah, I'm glad I'm not gonna have lots of extra yarn though. I mean, I felt like, ooh, did I buy too much yarn? I wasn't quite sure how much extra yarn I was really gonna need, and I hoped I wasn't gonna be like, I bought too much. But no, it's gonna work out perfect and good. That's good. I don't like to overbuy. And this is the state of my branches and buds pullover. The body is starting to grow. Got some inches under the armhole. And I think to get it to a good length, I am going to need to use some of the the colored yarn too, which I'm okay with. I already thought I wanted to do that anyway, to add a little, to have a little more color, and not just a little spot of color up at the top. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the pattern name for the tank top. This tank top is called the Streamline Tank. And it is available as a free pattern with a whole lot of ads in it. And it is available for like under $4 as a paid for pattern, ad free as a PDF download. So it's up to you. But yeah, there's a free and a paid for option for that pattern. And I did need to order something from Amazon for Dad that he needed. And while I was there, I'm like, maybe I'll order a little something for me too. So there's been a book I've been seeing a lot of buzz about, a graphic novel about the Bronte siblings, actually, because it includes the brother Bramwell. And it sounds so amazing to me, and I've been wanting it so bad. And I even checked about a month ago, and the library doesn't have it yet because it was released only about a month ago. So no chance to get it from my local library. Plus the local library is closed indefinitely right now. Although their online digital, you can get digital materials, but as far as physical books and their physical building, all closed. Understandable. So I did it. I ordered with the order. I added this, and I'm so happy. I'm so excited. It is Glass Town, The Imaginary World of the Brontes. And there are the 4 siblings. Let's see. Charlotte, Emily, Anne, and Bramwell. And I'm not sure which is which. Well, that's Bramwell, I'm pretty sure. But not sure between those which is Charlotte, which is Anne, and which is Emily. But it is fiction, but it is based on a little bit of biographical facts about the Bronte family. As children, together, the 4 siblings created a fictional fantasy world called Glass Town, and they wrote stories together. They drew pictures, and for many years, as they were growing up, they created stories and art for Glass Town. It was their creative outlet. It was kind of the beginning of their writing journey, and it was a collaborative. It was very collaborative between the 4 of them. And so this is about, part of it is set in Glass Town, as if Glass Town had actually become a real place that they had created. And let's see, which of the sisters is the one that lived the longest and survived after the 3 had died? Was it Charlotte? Might have been Charlotte, but I honestly don't know. I am not a biographical expert on the Brontes, and I've only read one of the novels. I want to read all of the Bronte novels from all of the sisters. That is a goal. But I am not deeply expert or knowledgeable about the Brontes at this point. But the story kind of has the one sister that survived the longest. She is alive, and at this point she has the other three siblings have died, and so she is dealing with that loss and dealing with being one sibling in their family group. And a character from Glasstown kind of starts appearing to her, and she's bringing back some of that imaginative world and memories and other aspects of the childhood that she shared with them. And everything I've heard about it is that it is really, really a lovely story, very well done. The art style, here, let me show you a little page. And this is set in the real world, so it's not very colorful. It's like black and reddish, burgundy, and white is all the color. But when you get to Glasstown, in those sections, there's a lot more color. Let me find part of that to show you. I'm probably going to have to edit some of this out. Well, I'll show you this. It's a 2-page spread, and it actually shows the city or town of Glasstown. And there is more color. It's not extremely colorful, but there is definitely a lot more color. There's some pink and blue and tan. Anyway, so the art style is also, I haven't seen any of the pictures that the children drew. I haven't seen any photos or reproductions of those, but the art style does feel a little bit like it harkens back to kind of that, a little bit of a childish, primitive style. It's not extremely refined, and yeah, but I think is fitting. I think it's very fitting. Anyway, so I'm very excited. I already have a bookmark in here for when I start to actually read it. It only arrived a couple days ago, and I've been doing other things. I've been listening. I started a new audiobook because I had put it on hold. I had put the audio copy on hold from my library, and it became available. So I started listening to The 3-Body Problem. I can't remember the author's name. I'll put it somewhere. It'll be in the box below, and hopefully I will also get it on the screen somewhere. But it's a science fiction novel written by a Chinese author. It's translated to English, and it was one of the great Chinese sci-fi novels. Super, anyway, in Chinese science fiction, it's like at the top, and it's been translated for a while now, I think. And it is so good. I'm listening to it at 1.25 speed. Usually I listen to it at just real-time speed, but this is a little bit long, and I wanted to make sure that I wanted to get it through before the file like self-deleted, because that's how the library loans of the digital materials work. The file like deactivates. So and the narrator thankfully wasn't already speaking fast, so that at 1.25 speed I can still understand it very clearly. And the narrator is doing a fine job. It took me a while to be sure that I was going to be able to get through it as an audiobook, though, because especially with science fiction and fantasy and some of these really like complicated, there's world building, and there's sometimes many characters, and this has a lot of characters in it, and the names aren't familiar names that like stick in my head easily. So I'm like, am I going to be able to keep track of the characters? Am I going to be able to really track what's going on? And is it going to gel in my mind enough to be able to follow it? And I struggled for a while. And then I started to really catch on, and I felt like, okay, this is going to be fine. I think I'm not super far into it yet, so it may get too big. It may get too much for me to follow, but I was able to kind of get into it, and right now I feel like I'm following it pretty well, and I'm not having trouble with the understanding which characters who and remembering who the characters are. And it's super interesting. This is definitely like a mind-bending, like theoretical physics, philosophy, mind-bending, wild, epic ride. So I'm excited for where it's going to go. Yeah. So that. And I've still been listening to The Clockmaker's Daughter, listening to it in the kitchen or while I'm folding laundry or things like that, and sometimes listening to it a little bit at night, and I'm loving it. Yeah, it's really good. And I have not been reading my physical book this week, The Good People by Hannah Kent, although the audio one did become available, and I have checked out the audio version from my library's digital services. So maybe tonight I'm going to start listening to that, and I'm going to have my my copy of the book open so that I can follow and see what spelling matches which name. I mean, so I can, when I hear the people's names, I can see the spelling. And when I hear her saying some of the Irish language, other words or phrases, I'll be able to see it on the page and how it's spelled and what it looks like. Yeah, I might do some of that tonight. anyway, so that's been crafting and reading. And I have I stopped watching devs so that I could save the last 3 episodes to binge, because I'm like, this, it kind of keeps getting better and better in the um they don't exactly end on cliffhangers, but they kind of do. And I'm like, I think for the run up to the finale and the finale, I'm just going to want to binge it. I'm like, I'm not going to want to have to wait. So, I think this week, episode 8 becomes available on Hulu. And so when that drops, then anytime after that, I can start watching the last 3 episodes, and I can watch them. I can stay up late one night, or I can just watch them a day apart. So I won't have like a long separation between them, because I could just tell I wasn't gonna want that. So I'm excited for when I can start finishing that series, because I think it's going to be amazing. I hope it's as amazing as... I hope it meets that expectation. We'll see. And I'm sorry if I'm overhyping it to you. But yeah, I think that covers a lot of the chatty things. So, how are you holding up? I hope you're okay. We're okay. And thanks for watching, and take care. Oh, just a short little teeny tiny story. Last night I was working on this. I was redoing it. And I heard for the first time this spring, we have a lot of trees behind our house. There's kind of like a green space between our house and the houses on the next street. The developer kept it that way on purpose, which is wonderful. The new developments are not doing that at all. But so in general, in the spring, there is usually lots of birds to hear. And it sounds like they're right like outside the window. And last night I heard the first bird song of the spring, and it was so beautiful, and I was so excited, and I was like, oh, it was so wonderful. And we had just had Easter, and I'm like, this is that Easter new life and hope and spring, and it made me so happy. And I tried to call my sister. I tried to get my sister on a video call and say, "Can you hear that? Can you hear that? It's the first birds, the first bird song of the spring." But she couldn't answer, and she called back about 10 minutes later, but they long ago stopped singing, so she couldn't get to hear it. But I tried to share it, and I'm sharing it with you in a little story. Yeah. Anyway, so I hope you're finding little things to bring you bits of hope and joy, and take care and enjoy your crafting and your reading. And see you next time. Bye bye.